Madam President, to adjourn in the memory of a member of this House and of the former House, Betty Karnette, who served in the other House from 92 to 94, who served here from 96 to 2004, and again in the other House from 2004 to 2008. And if she was here today, she'd be sitting there right next to the senator from Riverside in the desk over there, that she was such a familiar presence. In the fall of 1992, a lifelong member of her party and a math teacher for over 30 years found herself in a meeting with a few of her fellow activists who wanted to run for office. Not only did they want her to run in a solidly district of opponent of the other party, but they wanted her to run against a 14-year incumbent who had more in his campaign war chest than she made in a year. When asked if she would run, Betty Karnette said, in the typical Betty style for any of us who know her with that Kentucky voice, she says, "Why not? It's a challenge and it will give me something new to do. Someone opens a door and you walk through it," she used to say all the time. 9 months later, Betty beat her opponent by more than 12,000 votes and began a remarkable 14-year career here in the legislature, in both houses of the legislature, that will forever serve as a masterclass in excellence within this important institution. Betty was born in Paducah, Kentucky, as Mr. Umberg will tell you, at the tail end of the Great Depression, and attended Health High School, where she was class president of a graduating class of only 38 students. She studied pre-med at a local junior college, but when she ran out of money, she moved to Chicago and took a job as a typist, where she met her future husband, Richard, and in 1952, they moved to Long Beach. She worked as a secretary until she received her teaching credential from Cal State Long Beach in 1961, and immediately got a job, members, as a teacher, launching what would be a 30-year career as an educator in the Los Angeles Unified School District. Early in her teaching career, she immersed herself in state and local politics, working in campaigns and becoming an active member of her teachers union, ultimately being elected to the State Council of the California Teachers Association. In 1992, as I suggested, she brought her political savvy and experience as an educator to bear here in the California legislature, and everyone who worked with her, including myself, learned one thing: Betty Karnette was unstoppable. Anyone who knew her well knew that her determination to get things done was rooted in a deep and genuine passion for the issues. She authored landmark legislation on an impressive array of issues, upholding election integrity, protecting the rights of domestic violence victims, preserving endangered species, and strengthening our state's trade and transportation infrastructure. And while she was known for her love of education, she was also a zealous advocate for students of civil rights. Not many know that at her high school in Kentucky, Betty was one of 4 white members of the local chapter of the NAACP, and actually went on to write her master's thesis on the history of education for African Americans before the Civil War. Betty's tenacity and determination to solve problems was matched only by her disarming and gregarious personality. She was never shy about looking someone straight in the eye and saying exactly what was on her mind, like it or not. But it was this candid forthrightness, this folksy enthusiasm for the job that made her such a force in this legislature. She was a trailblazer, a fierce advocate, a brilliant educator, but more than anything, Betty was a dear friend and mentor, someone whose trust and advice I could always count on in my service here in the legislature. She will undoubtedly be missed by so many friends and so many who don't even know her name. We all are used to the Karnette rule, which is how we behest things. That was Betty's law. We called it the Karnette rule in the old days, and in the new days they call it behesting, as we all have to do that. It's one of her many, many accomplishments. The great Betty Karnette is survived by her daughter Mary, and I respectfully ask that this Senate adjourn in the memory of one of our own. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Hertzberg. Please be sure to bring her name forward so she may be properly memorialized by the California State Senate. Forgive me, Senator Umberg, I didn't see your mic up. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam President, colleagues. You can't see my face because we've got masks on, but the name Betty Karnette just makes me smile. And this photo collage in front really captures Betty. I served with Betty when she was elected in the early 1990s and then again in the mid-2000s. And Betty, as our good friend from Los Angeles pointed out, could be extremely disarming and extremely jovial, but that was a veneer that covered a backbone of steel. She was a teacher. She was a teacher at heart, and we were all her students. And she was really the den mother of the assembly when I was there. She was the essence of Long Beach. She loved Long Beach. She loved her community. She loved being an educator. She loved educating all of us. And she devoted her life to public service. She devoted her life to her husband, Dick, and she devoted her life to her daughter, Mary, who survives her. And she would light up when she would talk about Mary. She absolutely evoked this incredible sense of optimism. She will be missed. I am so grateful that I had an opportunity to serve with Betty and become her friend. May she rest in peace. God love you, Betty.
Thank you, Senator Umberg. Senator Laird.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to join in the adjourn as well, and it's hard to top the two statements that are made, but when Betty lost the seat in the Assembly before she was elected to the Senate, she was appointed chair of a party committee, and I was her co-chair, and it was on grassroots organizing, which was really her expertise. And it was a time where there was a real downturn. I mean, other people had lost their seats, and she was determined to put all the effort, and in particular with her fellow teachers, in organizing across the state to make sure those issues showed up in elections and showed up in people winning. And then you go forward about 12 or 14 years, and she and I served together in the state assembly, and I was budget chair. And I cannot do justice, I didn't hear it in the other two, I cannot do justice to her accent. She sounded like she walked out of Kentucky the day before she met you. And she would come and just say, as we were doing the budget, are we good in education? Are we good for the teachers? I'm just checking. Do I have to cause a scene? And that was just where her heart was and where her effort was. And it was why she was such a good public servant. And I join in adjourning in her memory.
Thank you, Senator Laird. Senator Bradford.
Thank you, Madam President. I too just want to say, add my voice to all that has been said about Betty Karnette, who was an amazing public servant, and that's the way I would describe her. She was genuine, she was kind, she was all those things that, like I say, my colleagues have stated already, and as you look at the face, it was as warm and genuine. And she took me under her wings before I got to the legislature and encouraged me to be involved in the community, and that's what public service is really all about, being involved and just being engaged. And so I want to thank her for her mentorship, her friendship, and her encouragement, and her endorsement when I ran in '09. And so I appreciate all that she's meant not only to this institution, but to the state of California and to all the young folks who she impacted their lives as an educator, as a friend, as a mentor. So thank you.